On GHOne television, I am Joshua Kodjo Mensah. Yes, this is the best way to wake up here in Accra and beyond, because we are also live on Facebook, on X, on YouTube. And so when you're leaving the house, you don't have to worry. You can carry us along on your phones and smart devices. Well, this morning, the show promises to be really exciting. We've got some wonderful conversations for you as usual. We'll be touching on pertinent issues affecting Ghana's economy. We're told that we're getting a new gas plant. A lot of people are talking about that. Then again, Kwabena Adu-Boahene also was in court. Again, we are told he's been rearrested. Oh, his woes just keep deepening. This time around, it has to do with the Ghana Water Limited contract that was entered into. And you know, the Attorney General promised us that we were going to see that. Then, while we were simmering on that a bit, the GIIF former CEO has also been arrested, charged with Professor Gyamfi, the board chair of it's become a murky one. You know, the Attorney General mentioned that we were going to see that. They've been charged officially over the SkyTrain deal, $10 million US deal. We'll see how that pans out. But good morning to you once again. And remember, you are always a big part of the conversation. So I'd like to see your comments, your views and contributions to the show this morning. Let's look out for the quote of the day. So the quote of the day is by Vince Lombardi. Like we've always told you about Vince Lombardi in this particular quote, that perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence. Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence. And there's a reason why I'm sure my producer keeps bringing this up, because he wants us to catch excellence some way, somehow. But that's our quote of the day. Let's look out for the word of the day.
Today's word is IMPREGNABLE, impregnable. It's an adjective. If a building or team is impregnable, it is so strong that it cannot be broken into or beaten. Nana, do us the honest and give us an example.
Okay, Noreen, so here's my example. The Jubilee House was too impregnable to be invaded by the demonstrators. I mean, if we look at yesterday's demonstration, it's akin to that.
Apt, impregnable.
Right, so that's the word of the day, impregnable, Nana. And then extra tall guy bringing us the word of the day, helping us to improve our vocabulary, our grammar, making sure that we learn new words every day. Let's now move to the video of the day.
GHOne OV van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis' state funeral, Miss Africa awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GHOne van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GHOne provides it.
My experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew, ICC, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter or host in that studio as well and get that running.
To give an experience to our audience, we're also watching on TVs and online. Work with an Exo technology system, which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts.
I prefer the GHOne van to a lot of other vans I've used, or even doing my own setup on a tabletop setup. Because on a production, you see a number of people in the van. And so if you have a very small van, it means that it's going to be choked, and that will affect the creativity as well. The price has been discounted as well to accommodate varied budgets. And so no matter the budget you have, I understand you can have the truck and do business with it.
It looks huge, but very affordable. Cost is really, really affordable. My experience with this EMI Awards last year, super excellent. Try it, call them, and I'm going to give you the best of price. Really affordable.
It's Kimpaluta, Kimpaluta with a video of that day, setting the tone for us this morning to enter into the conversation. So yes, with that music done and dusted, let's now look at Inside Out for today. So yesterday, I'm told that some people also experienced power outages, and we've been told that the situation is inherited from the previous administration, even though they've also said so much about how that cannot be their fault. Yes, but what we do know is that John Dramani Mahama, president of the land, his energy minister, have decided to build a new gas plant. Now, we are told that this particular one would be one of the ways to get out of the woods in terms of the energy deficits that we are experiencing, which is leading to some power outages over the country. So we are told that yes, a committee has actually been put in place. The minister has inaugurated the committee. The committee is going to begin work. We are going to see some expedient work, we are told, done to get the new gas processing plants. But the big question we are asking this morning, is this what will bring relief to the people of Ghana? Looking at the challenges we've experienced in terms of energy and all of those challenges that have bedeviled the sector, will this be the solution to our woes? Some experts have said that yes, this will bring a huge reprieve, because yes, we do have the FPSOs working there, we have our gas plants, Etiabo and all of those things, and so if we are getting extra, that would mean that we'll be producing more. That would mean that we'll have enough gas to power our plants, and then it would be we'll have enough power in the system. But then one of the things I keep asking, and because I keep hearing also, is that we are not deficient when it comes to production. We are not deficient at all, because mind you, we are exporting power. Yes, we are exporting power to neighboring countries, so the production is not a problem. That's what we have been told over the years. But then there are challenges with distribution and all of those things, and that's what leads to the gap in our energy supply. So I've heard a lot of experts who are lauding this particular one, saying that, well, if we do have another gas processing plant, that would mean that our energy situation will be put under check. We would have a proper regime. But then how soon will this be completed? And in terms of generation, how are we looking at this being able to help us? And the energy minister says, well, this is it. For now, this is where we need to go. And we are hoping. Some of us are really hoping, because, the intermittent power supply is terrible. Very, very terrible. You can give it whatever name, from Dumso to Dumsiesi. I don't think the people of Ghana care about what name is given to the challenge. All we want is to have power. All we want is to ensure that when we are going to sleep at night, our air conditioners, our fans are working. When we close from work and we are going home, there are lights for us to even see. We can have power to iron, power to do all the things that we need to do. And so yes, the people of Ghana, we are ready for whatever it takes to make sure that we have power. Especially now that we are paying 14% more for electricity. The least the government can do is to ensure that we have some stability in terms of power, so that we do not have an issue where Kotoka International Airport goes off and then people have to struggle there. We don't have to have a situation where even hospitals are some situation, but we would also keep an eye, a very keen eye, on how that builds up our power supply. Okay, so that's for Inside Out this morning, and I need to let you know that it's going to be a very busy day in the courts today, because like I said earlier, Kwabena Adu-Boahene, we are told, rearrested over another case, and so he was granted bail and then he was rearrested and he's now still in Yoko custody. His lawyers are peeved. They believe that this is injustice to their client, and they've talked about the fact that, well, if government or the state, the prosecutors, had ample evidence and they knew that they wanted to charge him with another crime, perhaps they could have done that while he was a free man. They don't have to wait for him to be detained and then just when he was released, rearrest him. And so that is also playing in the courts. And like I said earlier too, we know that Professor Gyamfi and the former boss of the Ghana, the GIIF, have also been charged over the $2 million SkyTrain scandal. And so that is also playing out in court. Yesterday, we saw what happened. They presented themselves to the courts, and going forward, we're going to be seeing more. As to whether or not you're going to hear from the Attorney General again on what he would say is the success of this particular matter so far, we cannot tell yet. We do not know if he would also grant another media interaction on his cases and how they've progressed over that period. But we'll adopt a wait and see approach to that particular development, and then as and when we do have the latest on that, we'll also get into it. And one issue that seems to not go away has to do with Sammy Gyamfi. Yeah, we know that yesterday he was at work as CEO of the Gold Board. He even met some industry players yesterday, and the minority is not happy about it. The NPP is really unhappy about that development. They feel that the president should take some urgent steps. Meanwhile, the president, his vice, and the Speaker of Parliament are all not in the country. Yeah. And some have described this as a constitutional crisis. Yesterday, I engaged Wayogana Manti, who is a private legal practitioner, who talked about the fact that, well, this situation, it demands some urgent response. And he likened it to Kwame Nkrumah's days where he was not in the country, and that led to his coup, among other things. So there's an urgent call on President John Dramani Mahama, who we understand is in Côte d'Ivoire for a conference, to return home. Return urgently and then get to perform his duties as the first gentleman of the land. And so we'll be delving into all of those issues pretty soon in the show. And let me also let you know that we'll have an interview with the EU ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency Irchad Razaaly. We'll be talking about an upcoming project that the EU in Ghana is putting together. It's a business forum. You don't want to miss that conversation here. But let's check out what the newspapers are saying this morning. All right, so let's check out the papers this morning. The Daily Guide newspaper says politicization of SML unhealthy for revenue generation. That's according to COPEC boss Duncan Amoa. There's also NLA boss explores tech partnership in China. So yes, two charged over 2 million SkyTrain saga. Yes, Professor Gyamfi and one other charged. Unity Ride Leadership will win 2028 for NPP. That's according to Eugene Boache. We know that the NPP is also seeking to put its fences and put things together. Adu-Boahene to spill national security intel in defense. That's according to his lawyer, Atachia, all captured on the front page of the Daily Guide newspaper this morning. The Daily Graphic says police update on Galamsey fight, 99 excavators seized, 208 arrested. That's the update on the government's fight against illegal mining. Professor Ameya Kumfi, former GIF CEO, charged over 2 million SkyTrain project. Guta endorses GSA measurement enforcement. COPEC lauds SML's revenue assurance model. That's it for the Daily Graphic. So the Ghanaian Times is our next paper this morning. Chaos at Malam Market. Traders, pedestrians invade road, abandon footbridge. And what is one of the concerns that the transport operators are raising. They are calling basically for the government to crack the whip on these traders who have invaded the roads and also causing a lot of gridlock in the capital. NLA boss explores tech partnerships in China to transform lottery operations. I'm sure you remember him. Some refer to him as Alhaji Tushaw when he was appointed the boss of NLA, among others. He says, Charlie, this is a divine call. Forget whatever people are saying. He's in China. He's exploring some lottery operations partnerships for that. Let's deal with labor migration in sub-region. That's according to ECOWAS rep, as reported by the Ghanaian Times newspaper this morning. The custodian says electoral manipulation rocks in Sawama Dwejiri. MCE approval. That's also captured there. Canada grabs Baumia's interoperability payment system. Wow. Achim Akokwaso celebrates legendary Nana Asare-Bediako III. Minority exposes Mahama's breach of constitution, and that has to do with the fact that the president, his vice, as well as the speaker are all not in town. Prudential Bank donates 20,000 cedis to Ghana National Fire Service Health and Safety Fund. So that's the custodian for you this morning. The Informer says, don't blow Cedi gains, but sustain it. Guta boss urges government. Debt must not erode Africa's dignity. Mahama tells conference in La Côte d'Ivoire. KGL boss grabs prestigious award. There's also Spy chief threatens to divulge national security confidentialities. Talking about Adu-Boahene, Kwabena Adu-Boahene. His lawyers say that in his defense, he might be forced to reveal some national security confidentialities, and that's captured on the Informer newspaper front page this morning. There's also public police. Well, let's do the Ghanaian publisher. And it says SML marks 5 years of downstream operations, rolls out upstream and minerals audit platform. Dr. Nick Danso picks Trade Industry Award. And Sawam MCE confirmation in is a farce, according to the MP for the area, and not Dompre. There's also KGL boss honored with Business Leadership Award. And spy chief threatens to reveal state secrets. Atachia warns. Let's check out the Daily Statement this morning. It's a significant legal victory. Can GHOne celebrates outcome of a NAS defamation case? Yes, from $18 million to $500. It will definitely be a victory for him. But then NAS and Tiger IPI said it's not about the amount involved. It's never been about the money. It's about the conviction, and they are happy that yes, GHOne has been found to have defamed NAS. Government under fire over broken promises and job losses. Joe Gate urges calm in NPP. He also has the story of the KGL group boss honored for leadership and business impact. And Canada, Namibia take cues from Baumia's economic innovations, captured on the front page of the Daily Statesman. The Chronicle this morning says unity and right leadership will win 2028 for NPP. Eugene Boachi Entry speaking there. And there's also 2 million SkyTrain payment. Ayene ready for plea bargain as Professor Ameya Kumfi, Solomon Asamoah are charged. There's also KGL's Alexa Pao Dade honored at Millennium Excellence Awards. And Harakati Zamungano calls for bold reforms to unlock Africa's potentials. And then the scripture for this morning, 1 John chapter 1 verse 9. If we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. That's the scripture for the Chronicle newspaper this morning. Right, so those are what the papers are reporting this morning. I'm sure that if you get a copy from the newsstand, you'll be able to get further details on any story that is pricking your fantasy this morning. Well, that's it for that, but let's now zoom straight into the world of sports with Sports Chart. Well, let's zoom into the sports now, and the man Jones, ADZI, he's dripping this morning. Jones,
yeah.
Charlie, what's informed you of dripping today?
I have a service to attend. I told you that I've started my journey to preach the word of the Lord.
My goodness.
Yeah. So I belong to Jesus. If only you know what that means this morning.
Right. I'm loving the drip.
Yeah. It's settings. You don't understand. But it's proper settings.
What's happening in sports this morning?
Well, you know what's trending? The Nations FC player that everyone is talking about, that he celebrated with an inscription that I belong to Jesus. Yes. So there's a Nations FC player, and so a lot of people started attacking the Ghanaian man for saying that I belong to Jesus. Then the GFA fined him. So wait, let's get it straight. There are a lot of people attacking the GFA for finding the player. So this is a statement from the GFA that Nations FC player Imalo Ano has been fined 500 cedis by the disciplinary committee for misconduct during the Ghana Premier League game against Asante Kotoko. The player was found guilty of displaying a religious message on his undergarments after removing his shirt during his celebration. So he has also been strongly warned that any further misconduct will result in severe sanctions. And you know what was inscribed? It said, I belong to Jesus. But the point is that why was he fined? And we're coming to explain that. So it is important to note that the GFA did not err in the award of the fine. In fact, the GFA has just re-emphasized the laws of the game. And Emmanuel Ano of Nations FC was found guilty of displaying a religious message on his undergarment, I belong to Jesus, which attracted the fine. Now, let's be quick to add that the GFA is not against Christianity, neither are they against the faith of any individual in the game. According to the laws of the game, Law 12, while it is permissible, so this is what the law says, while it is permissible for a player to demonstrate his joy when celebrating a goal, his celebration must not be excessive. As far as FIFA is concerned, there is yet to be a negative kickback for the player's religious celebration, while the footballing body has long shown a blind eye to any celebration goal scorer on the field, thanking a higher power for guiding the ball to the back of the net. Official rules do not outlaw the extension of religious and political beliefs beyond simple gestures. So the law continues to say that players must not reveal undergarments that show 1. Political, 2. Religious, 3. Personal slogan, statements or images or advertising other than the manufacturer's logo. It will be recalled that in January 2013, Mubarak Wakasu pulled his team shirt over his head to reveal a t-shirt with the words, Allah is great, after scoring a penalty for Ghana against Mali in Group B of the African Cup of Nations. So he was actually cautioned by the referee for the display of the message. Now, fast forward to 2025, Liverpool forward Cody Gakpo also faced an FA reprimand after revealing a religious slogan during his side's 5-1 win against Tottenham Hotspur. And he also said, I belong to Jesus. In recent seasons, FIFA have attempted to crack down on some of the more enthusiastic celebrations and inscriptions, especially those that have political and religious connotations. We can all agree that religion is a delicate matter and must be treated with care. Now, connotations are understood differently, and efforts must be made to eradicate them from the game regardless of our belief. The GFA's action is not about Christianity, Islam or Buddhism, but an interpretation of a law 12 by the game. So let's be guided. So it goes way back for 2002. We saw Kaka. Yes, if you have that image of Kaka celebrating with the inscription, I belong to Jesus in there. But then, the players actually replied. Yes, Joshua, the players actually replied to GFA and said, see, why can football players celebrate LGBTQ plus sexuality but not their love for Jesus? And he adds a merry verse. Romans 14 verse 8. If we live, we live for the Lord. And if we die,
we die for the Lord.
GFA. They are telling you that you, GFA, if we die, we die for the Lord. So whether we live or die, we belong to the Lord. It's the kingdom work on the pitch. And he actually posted a video again. And this is actually going to attract more fines. It's actually going to attract more fines because he's been told that any further misconduct would attract more fines. And then yesterday around 9 p.m., your man went on to even tweet that.
No, but he posted a picture in the video, which has already attracted a fine.
Yes.
But according to the GFA rules, when you post, does it attract? No, so it's on the pitch, the work you do on the pitch, right?
Yes.
So if he displays on the pitch,
no, but then even the reaction to this,
right?
Yes,
it's likely.
Yes.
Interesting.
In the Ghana Premier League, if you refuse to do a post-match interview, a fine is attracted.
Right.
Yes. So even this is in reaction to that, and I'm sure that the GFA are going to apply more fines to the young man. But the funny thing, a lot of people on social media, especially when you get to GHOne on Facebook, a lot of people are asking the guy to send his Momo number. They'll pay for him.
Yes. 500 cedis.
And the funny enough, there are apostles and pastors and church elders in the comments.
My goodness.
Yes, going hard at the GFA. But we are actually saying that it is not wrong. It is not wrong. It is a law. It is a law. So we can also look at the image of Kaka. Let's get to see Kaka. Yes, Kaka was also celebrating. The next image, yes, Kaka also celebrated. Razaaly. This is Kaka, the Brazilian. He also celebrated I Belong to Jesus in 2002. Right. And so it goes way, way back. We can also get to see the next person also celebrated with I Belong to Jesus in there. And you actually see the Cody Gakpo. Yes, Cody Gakpo also celebrated. Now, Joshua, this one is very interesting because in the English Premier League, there comes a time where they celebrate LGBTQ plus KOR everything, and this is Maguire. He's the captain of Crystal Palace. Now, when that time comes in the English Premier League, they have to wear a racist or a rainbow armband depicting this LGBTQ plus.
Right.
So you know what the guy did? He's a Christian. He decided to put "I love Jesus" on the band. And it's, sparked a lot of controversies and a lot of people were talking and all that. But then, this is just an example of a player going out there showing his Christian belief. Let's end off with the last player, yes, who also celebrated with a political inscription. Yes, you know, some time back, there was this Palestinian war that we saw some time back. But then there's Cody Gakpo as well. For this player, he plays for Liverpool. And for him, his celebration, I belong to Jesus, didn't attract a fine. It was just a warning from the FA that, hey, young man, don't do it again. But then, in Ghana, 500 cedis for the young...
but it could be Jesus. I belong to Jesus.
Jesus. Jesus is all Jesus.
No. Maybe there's a player called Jesus.
No. Everyone knows Jesus. Everyone knows Jesus. So, there is an explanation to why the guy has been fined. So please, let's not say that the GFA... One comment said that next time if the GFA asks us to pray for the Black Stars, we will not pray for them. Can you just imagine? Yeah. So we are just saying that it is not as if the GFA are against Christianity. But we are saying that it is a law from FIFA.
Right.
Yeah, because, sometimes when you get to an Islamic state and you play there and you go and celebrate in a style that would bring hostility, it would go against you. So we are just saying that, one, political statements, religious statements, don't do that.
It's a rule of the game.
Yes, it's a rule of the game.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, let's get on to some Sunderland news because Sunderland, after 8 years, are hoping to return, to the English Premier League, and it was brilliant yesterday. They won the first leg 2-1, but then they had to go on and get to the second leg, and the second leg actually ended 1-0. It went to a short time, and then Sunderland got the goal in the dying embers of that game, to win that one there. So congratulations to Sunderland. They would be taking on Sheffield United in the final of the Championship playoff, and the winner would return to the English Premier League. Let's finally end off with some tennis news, because Novak Djokovic and his boss Roger Federer, yes, they decided to part ways. If you remember, some 6 months back, in November, yes, they started this coaching partnership, and it was talked about was it going to be the GOAT coach and the GOAT tennis player, but then we finally see that both decided that Charlie, Emfa, let's go away. So Novak Djokovic will no more be coaching, and Andy Murray will actually no more coach Novak Djokovic in there. And today we have Adu-Boahene. Yes, Adu-Boahene would be joining us on the game at 1 p.m. The Black Queens legend would be right here in the studios of GHOne TV at 1 p.m. as we talk women's football on the game. Yes, with GHOne and Monica. That's all for the sports chat this morning. My name is Cedi, and it's Wednesday, and of course, we're outside.
Jones, thank you. Thank you for bringing the sports chat. So that's it. Sports cleared here on the show. Stick and stay with us. We've got a lot of exciting interviews for you.
GHOne OV van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis' state funeral, Miss Africa awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GHOne van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GHOne provides it. My
experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew, ICC, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter who's in that studio as well and get that running.
To give an experience to our audience, we're also watching on TVs and online. Work with an Exo technology system, which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts.
I prefer the GHOne van to a lot of other vans I've used, or even doing my own setup on a tabletop setup, because on a production you see a number of people in the van, and so if you have a very small van, it means that it's going to be choked, and that will affect the creativity as well. The price has been discounted as well to accommodate varied budgets. And so no matter the budget you have, I understand you can have the track and do business with it.
It looks huge, but very affordable. Cost is really, really affordable. My experience with this EMI awards last year, super excellent. Try it, call them, and I'm going to give you the best of price. Really affordable.
administration to advance more ties between the European businesses, and we are working on under the overall scheme of the Global Gateway. You have heard it in the film. This is the European strategy to stimulate, I would say, critical connectivity when it comes to infrastructure, critical infrastructure which will stimulate local transformation. So, to answer your question, for example, Global Gateway for us is around the vaccine production in Ghana.
Right.
Okay, so we are not speaking about a bridge or road. In that case, we are speaking about a very high-end technological hub to make Ghana a technological hub that will serve vaccines for the rest of the continent. This is one example. We are speaking about transformation of agribusiness. Agribusiness is very important, and we all want to see Ghana becoming an agribusiness, I would say, hub as well for West Africa. We are supporting already the transformation of shea butter, of fruits, of this specific production, so this is not traditional. And there are other areas where we want to increase our support for Ghanaian transformation in the field of green energy, for example. So we want to increase and accelerate even more our support for green transition. You know, you have a Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, which is very good news. We are very excited in order to reinforce what we have already achieved.
And specifically about the green transition, how key is that sector to the EU?
This is a key sector inside the European market. Remember, the European Union is the continent with the fastest transition towards green transition. But this is as well a key undertaking in our external partners. So Ghana is no exception, especially now that Ghana has indicated his interest and willingness to engage in that in a more, I would say, intensive solar panel electricity unit in Careo in Upper West.
All right.
We will be soon, as the European Union, retrofitting the Pont Dam, which is a critical infrastructure, you know, for water retention, and then ahead of the Akosombo Dam, which generates hydro. So there are many, many exciting things ahead of us.
So you have been in this terrain for a while. The EU has been supporting a lot of projects here in Ghana. In terms of the business acumen, young people now taking up businesses, is that an inspiring thing?
Of course, first and foremost, the energy, the talent of the Ghanaian youth is an endless source of inspiration. You learn so much when you meet with them. You are amazed by their initiatives, and they deserve this extra push. They deserve this extra opportunity that will be opened during the business forum, but which will be showcased as well during the forum. It's not a one-day thing. This one day is aimed at stimulated business-to-business conversation, but it will be about showcasing good stories coming from the field. You know, the young people transforming shea butter in world-class cosmetics. The young people transforming mango, cassava, pineapple into world-class product, etc., etc. The young people who are transforming or recycling electronic waste into long-lasting batteries. You know, we have this type of talent in Ghana, and they need to get their limelight, they need to get their support, and we want to put them on the fore.
Because I mean, watching the video, I saw a display of some products, including akple, which is from where I come from, put on display and packaged in a way that can be exported to the European market. So this helps these young businesses to gain access.
Precisely because the talent is huge, and you don't need that much, you know, to make it just click and jump to the new horizon. Better packaging, ability to navigate or to meet the phytosanitary standards, because, this is the European Union and we don't eat things that are not safe. We don't put on our skins things that are not safe on medical side. And I have a number of youth, some of them became friends, who have been exporting worldwide and now are exporting in the European market, and this was a game changer. So it's about packaging, it's about knowing the market, knowing the peculiarity, knowing the specific taste of the European customers, and we are happy to support them. We are happy and proud.
Are there any success stories that you can highlight for us in terms of businesses that you have been supported and have transformed over the years?
This cosmetics is really close to my heart. It's GHOne, the name of the company,
right.
Funded by this energetic young man, Churchill. Now he's engaging into a PhD because he believes that he needs that knowledge as well to move forward. And he was employing 4 people, then 20 people, transforming shea butter into cosmetics, exporting in some African countries, somewhat in the US market. We've helped him to adapt his product and be able and fit to export into the European market, and now that's transforming the whole business. We are very happy, very proud, and you should be very proud to have in your midst people with this type of talent.
Right. Well, let's talk about the EU Global Gateway Strategy. How is that supporting our industrialization goals? Because we've talked so much about Ghana we're producing, but then we don't seem to we are consuming rather instead of production. So we are trying to industrialize. The new government says we're going to have a 24-hour economy to boost industrialization. How does the EU global strategy play into that, the gateway strategy?
The global gateway is a new approach which is based on the idea that the European Union will bring on the fore the best of its offer. When I say the best technological solution, the best funding solution, because we are not in the businesses of creating or expanding the debt of our partner, which is a critical element today in the situation in Ghana, and the best, I would say, suited offer that is tailor-made.
Okay.
So let me be clear. For example, we will be bringing some Italian or German technology with funding coming from the European Investment Bank, plus the European Commission, plus some of other national bank of the member states, in order to address a challenge that has been voiced by the Ghanaian authorities. They would say, for example, look, we are a bit short in our ability of producing and transforming agricultural product. We would see that in this area, so and so, what can you bring on the fore? And then we are putting our heads together in the European, I would say, market with the Ghanaians, and we say we could propose A, B, C, D. If you are comfortable with that, we are moving forward. This is how, for example, we came up with the Kaleo, power plant. Mm-hmm. This is how we are ready to support the significant increase of water purification in Dalung. You know, Dalung next Tamale, because so far only 1/4 of the freshwater needs in Tamale and Damongo are insured. So, for example, we have financial, technical solution to increase that by 5 times, which is something that brings us to a 300 million euros type of investment, which is sustainable on the environment side, sustainable on the financial side, and which will bring, I would say, new input as well on the technological side.
Wow. So someone just sent a message and is asking, so for entrepreneurs like him, he's into fire engineering, among others, can they also take advantage of the business forum?
Of course, I would. It's already very, I would say, successful event, because there are a lot of people who want to come. I would recommend the ones who want to engage or to come to connect through our Facebook account, European Union in Ghana. Very simple, the European Union in Ghana. You can subscribe there, or you can, if you are not in Accra, for example, because this is not for Accra only. It's very important that we are able to bring together people from Kumasi, Tamale, Takoradi, elsewhere. They can connect and they can follow us there. They can interact, and we can have follow-up conversation with them.
So when is this happening? The Business Forum for 2025?
It's happening the 20th of May, 20th and 21st of May. So be ready. Follow us.
That's next week.
Yes, this is next week. This is next week. This is fast approaching.
And where is it happening?
It's happening in the Kempinski.
Okay. And so...
but most importantly, Kempinski cannot host all of Ghana.
Yes.
I understand this is already very successful, so please connect.
So people should connect via Facebook.
Yes.
The European Union in Ghana.
Exactly.
And they'll get to be a part of it.
Exactly.
Virtually.
There they can, if there's still room, they can subscribe and participate live.
Oh, okay.
Or they can follow remotely.
Right. Oh, so who must be a part of this?
If you have talent, if you have ideas, if you have projects, if you want to expand existing, I would say, investment, this is your event. This is your event. If you are a policymaker as well, if you are a policymaker in the field of agro-business, for example, energy, transportation, logistics, because all this is part of the global gateway activity. If you are part of the pharma, as I said, we are very big on pharma because this country has got ambitions. You should be part of it. If you're interested in creating a better future for Ghana, stronger links between Ghana and the European Union, you are a good client as well.
All right, so it's happening next week, and if you want to connect, just the European Union in Ghana on Facebook and get to be a part of it is the EU Ghana Business Forum 2025. Your Excellency, it's been a pleasure having you in the studio this morning.
Thank you very much again.
So that's the EU Ambassador in Ghana, His Excellency Irchad Razaaly, having a conversation on the EU Ghana Business Forum. Let's all take advantage of it and then help build a better Ghana with the support of the European Union. This is still GH Today here on GHOne Television. I am Joshua Kodjo Mensah. We'll go for a quick break and then get into the breakfast review segment right after that.
GHOne OV van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis' state funeral, Miss Africa Awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GHOne van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GHOne provides it.
My experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew. ICC, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter who's in that studio as well and get that running.
To give an experience to our audience, we're also watching on TVs and online. Work with an Exo technology system, which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts. I
prefer the GHOne van to a lot of other vans I've used, or even doing my own setup on a tabletop setup. Because on a production you see a number of people in the van. And so if you have a very small van, it means that it's going to be choked, and that will affect the creativity as well. The price has been discounted as well to accommodate varied budgets. And so no matter the budget you have, I understand you can have the track and do business with it.
It looks huge, but very affordable. Cost is really, really affordable. My experience with it, EMI Awards last year, super excellent. Try it, call them, and I'm going to give you the best of price. Really affordable.
All right, so this is the breakfast review segment of GH Today here on GHOne Television, and it's a Wednesday, and yes, as we do every Wednesday, we panel a female guest, and today we have Lawuratu, Musah-Saaka, member of the NPP's communications team, and then Nuong Faalong, a member of the NDC's communications team. Ladies, good morning.
Good morning.
Nuong, is the first time I'm interacting with you.
Yes, yes. Well. Usually, Lily hosts the show, so she's always here. Yes, I'm doing excellent. Yeah, fantastic. I like the tie.
Thank you.
Pop of color in the middle of all the grey.
Yes, yes.
Very nice.
Laura, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Welcome back.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here.
I hope you're doing well.
I'm good.
Fantastic.
We're alive.
And that's the most important part. Right. Okay, so we are getting to the conversations this morning, and we invite you to be a big part of it on social media, on Facebook, on X, and also on YouTube. You're streaming live there, so you can join us with your thoughts and your comments also on the issues we'll be looking at. So there's one issue that I thought by now perhaps would have died down, but it looks like it gains steam every single day, and that has to do with the situation involving Sammy Gyamfi. As it stands now, the NPP has waded strongly into it. They are calling for his head, for President Mahama to take action on Sammy Gyamfi. I've spoken to quite a number of people in the NDC, and the consensus is, this is much ado about nothing, and so we should not even give any form of energy to the NPP at all. Wrong.
Before I get into that, I just want to mention, in fact, I want to say a very good morning to the president of this country, Ejumawura, the nation builder, Oyadiyi, John Dramani Mahama. Yesterday, I saw a post on Facebook. Someone posted a ton of iron rods and said, a few months ago, before December, in December, a ton of iron rods was 9,600 cedis. Today, as you and I speak, it's 8,600 cedis. That's 1,000 cedis off. Please, thank you. The dollar as we speak is 12.72 thereabouts. Unprecedented appreciation in a short period of time. You can see that the work that this government is putting in is showing results.
Right.
And Ghanaians are starting to feel the relief in the costs of certain products. It takes a while, but it has already kicked in for some products, and Ghanaians are thankful. I saw a market woman too who was on Facebook. She had made a video that she went to buy oil. You see this sunflower oil in the before gallon?
Yeah, the yellow gallons.
Yes, the 25-liter one. She said a few weeks ago it was 7 something, and now she's buying it about 600 and change. She was very happy, and she was shouting JMG too. GM, GHOne. And I want to tell GM this morning, GHOne, you have done well.
Right.
Now, when we talk of Sammy's incident, I think that the NPP has spent so much time looking for issues and have found none. So they have jumped on what they think can build a case for them, and they have been all over the place. To be fair, they have become more of a nuisance these days, jumping all over looking for problems where there are none. I'm not going to make excuses for the incident, because Sammy Gyamfi himself has heard the criticism, the advice, and he understands that he has offended the sensibilities of the good people of Ghana, underlined good of Ghana, and he has apologized.
Yes.
Once he has apologized, it means that he is remorseful and he is sorry. Nonetheless, it is good to be in a Ghana where government appointees can actually be humble enough to come out and say, oh, I have made a mistake, I apologize. Did you ever see that in 8 years? We had 8 years of torture. We have come so far from the days of 1 week, one scandal. And even in those days, at no point did I ever see a government appointee. I remember one time I said, if only we could have even an apology. If anyone can at any point say, oh, because we're human, right? Eric, please, next time, proofread your petition before you submit it. And I don't see the evidence he's going to charge with. When you look at the letter, he's talking about how including the slashing. You see, he talks about splashing, then he comes to say slashing. I don't know, he's trying to spell splash. It's just a whole mess. He says further credible intelligence. So the evidence he's going to charge with is so-called credible intelligence. And he shows us nothing. He shows us nothing of that so-called credible intelligence. He proceeds to make outlandish accusations.
About his account?
Yes, making reference to his accounts and all sorts of sums of monies. Again, he gives us no evidence, right? But he throws this petition at Siraj and he tells them to go and investigate. Do you know how inundated Siraj would be with all sorts of petitions if anyone can just get up, write a letter? I can write and make accusations against you with zero evidence. At least attach evidence of what you are saying. Show us the credible evidence you are talking. Credible intelligence should have something substantive. This gentleman is just fishing, trying to gain favor with whoever. Hurriedly put together this letter riddled with so many mistakes and takes it to Siraj, asking Siraj to commit their time and resources to helping him fish for problems against Sammy Gyamfi. Unfortunately, I do not find any merit. I think one of the most popular terms around these days is prima facie. I do not, there is no prima facie established with this petition. I am not able to establish prima facie with this petition. He should try harder.
Right. But then, okay, let me come to Laura. So, the Minority Press Conference, I listened to it, and they cited some breaches that they feel. In fact, yesterday I sat with the Bekwa MP. He was sitting in that seat, and he mentioned that yes, there have been some breaches, and for them, this is the time where President Mahama must show leadership. And then this is asking, what kind of leadership are you asking for? Because there is nothing here for President Mahama to be bothered about.
Good morning, Joshua. Good morning to Nuong. Good morning to our viewers. Before I even go to this, Nuong was applauding the president.
Yes, for reduction.
In prices.
Yes.
It's a step in the right direction. But I think that the focus on imported goods shouldn't let us lose focus on the basics. I mean, if you've been following prices of cement, what is iron rods? The reduction in prices of iron rods has no meaning if cement is skyrocketing. How do people have money to build if the prices of food, kenke, gari, the basics are still going up? And we're seeing an appeal from Guta. That's not the first time Guta is appealing to, I remember 2022 or 2023, they did saying when the dollar was around 10 point something or so. The dollar at a point went as high as 19, 20, 22, which was not good, but the measures that were put in place today. So just as the president is being applauded for iron rods and imported items because of the depreciation of the dollar against the cedi, I think it would be also good to look at it for those of us who are also surviving on the basics, the food and all that. It all gives meaning to all the health interventions and all that. Health is wealth, and food is one of the basic things. It's said that if you don't eat your food as medicine, you take medicine as food. So it's good, but let's look at the basics. The rate at which food prices are going up, I think, is one of the key things that the NDC want their campaign on. And I think they should do good by Ghanaians and look at those basics, because at the end of the day, when you look at the dynamics in our country, you also fall in the basics category for the purposes of our argument here are more than those who can do the iron rods and all those high-end items. You know, it's interesting when I listen to our compatriots in the NDC now at the helm of affairs in this country. Did I hear as much ado about nothing? I mean, as much ado about something. Look, this issue, like I said on another platform, wouldn't have been an issue if it was just an ordinary citizen doing what they want to do. We see people spray money at events, we see people do it, but they have no responsibility to the state because they are not being paid by the taxpayers' money. The taxpayer hasn't employed them to protect their assets or grow an institution for them. We've had incidents like this happen in the past. If it's just about apologizing, then we have a long way to go. Because I can just do what I want to do, come and say, I'm sorry, Ghanaians, I wasn't thinking right, and I go, why do we have laws? Why did they go ahead to set a code of conduct that cost us money? Why?
But the argument
is it for the fun of it, or it's being populist as usual? Do things that attract eyeballs and give you wows and just leave them hanging? Or do things and make sure that they are effectively and efficiently implemented? Sammy Gyamfi is no longer just the communications officer for the National Democratic Congress. He's the CEO of Ghana Gold Board, an institution taking care of one of the most precious minerals and one of the major foreign exchange earner of the nation. So it's not just a matter of yes, you can go on about on the tangential issues of no proofreading and all that. Maybe a gentleman is taking a cue from the presidency. You've seen letters come from the presidency and you wonder if there are proofreaders there or people do a check before those letters are released. So I mean, as for those ones, if you want to go on them, but what's the crux of the issue? We had a public servant leading no mean an institution than the Ghana Gold Board. counting foreign exchange, dollars to be precise, like Abuchi in his car, and giving it out.
And the question is, what makes it wrong? Because
What
it's not
makes
as
it
though
wrong? What's the
he
source?
filmed
What's the
himself.
source of income?
So that's the question you're asking.
What's
Sammy Gyamfi's source of
the
income.
source of income? Why do public servants have to declare their assets? Why do we have anti-graft agencies? Why have they launched a code of conduct? Because some of these things are anticipated. So I think the NDC and the president would do all of us good. I mean, nobody wishes Sammy Gyamfi evil. Look, a second is a very long time in a politician's life. One moment of indiscretion can cost you a lifetime. You remember the former Minister of State, Roxanne Bukari? He had to resign. It was just a mere allegation. I don't know how it even ended. You remember Victoria Hammer?
Yes.
She just wished to have $1 million. What happened to her? And you have the CEO of Gold Board, who previously had insisted on standards in similar cases. And you think it shouldn't be investigated?
So is it the case
you
that
think
Sammy
the
Gyamfi-
petition of a
and
citizen?
that is what
it's not about Sammy Gyamfi.
Right. Would it have been different if it was any other appointee?
Why should it be different? Why should it be different? Once you're holding, as I said to you, if I had done anything when I used to hold public service, I'm sure I would have gained the same traction. Because the duty of care on the employee of the citizens is different from an ordinary citizen who goes about his duties to fend for him or herself. And today we feel that a petition from a citizen whose tax is being used to pay a public servant is frivolous. We need to, probably in a couple of months back, this would have been called arrogance of power. But the shoe is on the other foot. So we may just smile at it and let it go.
Right.
But it's not about Sammy Gyamfi.
Okay.
It's about making sure that public servants do right by us. Shraj is there. Yoko is there. We've seen all the back and forth about oral and all that. Charity begins at home.
Okay.
So let's make sure that, I mean, at the end of the day, if it's investigated, then there's nothing wrong with that. But fundamentally, what's the legal tender of this country? Is it the dollar? It's the Cedi. So there are so many questions to be answered.
Okay.
And the president will do us a great deal of favor to make sure that this is investigated and put to rest.
But the chief of staff invited Sammy, had a conversation with him, and we had to know the outcome.
Why don't we know the outcome?
Right.
In the president's inaugural address, he said he will keep us informed on every decision. Ghanaians have been outraged for and against, which is normal. But it's not about Sammy Gyamfi as a person.
Okay.
It's about the position he holds and the duty of care that is on him.
Okay. Nuong.
I just wanted to re-hit on that, the prices issue first. So when we look at the decline in prices, we are not only looking at, I mentioned iron rods, so she tackled that. It's not only iron rods. I mentioned oil. Fuel is on the decline, right? Household appliances. I even posted some on my Facebook yesterday. Household appliances are reducing in price. That is significant reductions for you and I. It helps us to be able to afford more because we are saving on the goods and services that we are buying. When fuel price drops, it affects everyone in this country automatically. So it is not exclusive to a particular group of people based on what they are able to afford. Everyone in Ghana is affected by fuel. When fuel prices go down, eventually transportation goes down. And then the transportation component on the goods and services that you buy, including food, it also comes down, which means the prices of food would drop. You do not expect it to, you can't see it in 2 days after fuel price drops. And the sustained decline will mean that eventually you will see it will touch all goods and services.
So the MPP should give time some time.
Not just give time some time, but give credit where it's due.
Okay.
If we are doing what you could not do, the least you can do is at least applaud us. Applaud us and be able to accept that, oh, the NDC is doing something really good. Because that decline in goods and services, when you go to the market, whether you are MPP or NDC, you enjoy the decline. It frees up your disposable income. At the end of the day, the disposable income you had, you have a bit more. Because the drop in fuel will have a multiplier effect on all goods and services. So to be fair, the decline is very welcome, and I will still continue to congratulate His Excellency. There's a phrase on Facebook now, Ato is forcing, which means the finance minister is doing very well, and we have to congratulate him for doing a good job and encourage him to do more.
Okay.
It's my prayer that the decline will be sustained. And when you see business people selling goods and services, they are also looking out for a sustained decline before they will translate that into their products. Don't forget that some people also bought their stock at a time when the dollar was 17 cedis, 18 cedis. They need to sell that off, get in new stock, and then you and I can enjoy the decline. So to be fair, if you are not enjoying it yet, it's as a result of the problems they faced a few months ago when the MPP was in power.
Right. That
we are trying to rid the system of. Now, when we come back to the case of Sammy Gyamfi, I mentioned before that I'm not here to make excuses. The people of Ghana, the good people of Ghana, say that they are offended by what he did. He has apologized for it. It's a step in the right direction, with other steps to follow.
Right.
You mentioned that he has been invited by the Chief of Staff. We all saw the news a few days ago.
Yes.
I'm sure eventually the Chief of Staff will communicate the outcome of their deliberations, right? In this country, we have seen the president accept wads of cash in public. We have seen the former president, Akufo-Addo, during the commissioning of the bridge in East Legon, accepting cash in broad daylight. Yes, it was Ghana cedis, but it was cash, an obscene display of cash. We have seen him on video accepting cash from people I do not know. We have seen ministers involved in scandals, former ministers under the NPP, involved in scandals with obscene amounts of cash that we could not, even they themselves had no idea how much foreign currency they had in their homes, lying around. It's in court, I agree, but the evidence is out there. We saw the huge amounts of money, both US dollars, pounds, cedis, and jewelry, very expensive jewelry. So let us come to equity with clean hands. That's what I'm saying. I can understand the criticism and the recommendations from the good people of Ghana. But where the MPP comes in, they have no moral right to even flog this matter the way they are doing. Your own appointees, we had even drivers of what? Ministers flaunting bundles of dollars. You never saw that video on Facebook? Flaunting bundles of dollars. Their wives were begging for them. Drivers of former appointees under the NPP, her party, that the administration. We saw it in this country. Okay? The NPP is going about holding press conferences, trying to make recommendations respectfully. Let's wait for the right people to make their recommendations. Let's wait for the Chief of Staff to come out with the finality of this issue.
But they have a problem with the Chief of Staff even inviting Sammy Gyamfi, because they say he's not an investigative body. So what is it really doing inviting Sammy Gyamfi to get to understand what happened?
You see, I'm trying really hard not to defend something that has been apologized for. Was she able to point at one law that he has broken? She mentioned the code of conduct. In the code of conduct, it's silent on the appointee giving, right? It talks about many different instances.
Yes.
But it's silent on the appointee, he or him giving to someone. There's no mention of that. Number two, if you go to our laws, which of them was broken? It is okay to understand that people are offended by the display of $800 that was given.
Is it $800?
From the horse's own mouth, I'm quoting.
Well, that's what the lady said.
Yes, exactly.
Because yesterday
you and I were not there.
Exactly. I spoke to the Bekwa MP. He says he counted over 17 notes. That can never be $800.
You see,
$50
it is part of the inflation of the story that they have been bandying around. You've seen them hold press conferences. You've seen them write a petition. Look, someone even mentioned tens of thousands in the beginning. Before the evidence came out, they were quoting huge sums, bringing fake videos that were recorded last year to substantiate their claims. I understand that they are looking for something that will stick. They are looking for something that will help their case. Opposition is not easy, to be fair. And the manner in which the MPP is approaching opposition, I've been very impressed by their efforts. They do better at opposition than they did in governance. For everybody's good, it's imperative that we keep them in opposition as much as possible because that's their expertise. Governance under them was abysmal. So if they have finally found their talent, it's understandable.
But they say Sammy Gyamfi he used to be very vocal about standards, and so he should not be the one caught in such an indiscretion, even though he's apologized. And they say the apology cannot suffice.
And I say, come to equity with clean hands. Those criticizing him, did they do better in governance? And those criticizing him are yet to point at one single law that he broke. Let's take it easy. The gentleman has apologized. Some people have accepted the apology. The finality of the issue will be heard in the next few days.
Okay.
And that depends on the chief of staff. If they think someone else should be investigating him, they should go and drag the person into, as they have already dragged other people into the story. They can do that by adding more. They have petitioned Shraj. Let's wait for the response of Shraj. If they want to hold more press conferences, honestly, I would advise they can hold press conferences on Adu-Boahene. Cecilia Dapa is still in court. They can hold press conferences. Look, Professor Kumfi, Mr. Samoa, in the Sky Train scandal. These are all areas that they can busy themselves with. They shouldn't keep flogging a dead horse.
Yes, let me take your bite.
It's interesting listening to know. If it's about moral rights, the NDC has no business in government.
How so?
You remember the scandals that led them to losing 2016? They can go to it. But you see, when they try so much to make it about MPP, it's unfortunate. When you're opening your question to me, you said minority in parliament. The minority MPs in parliament, who do they represent? They represent their constituencies. And the moment you become an MP, you represent a constituency, not your party. And every constituency have party members, not party members, so-called neutrals and all that. So if they want to reduce minority to just their convenience, making it MPP, then we have a long way to go. Who is supposed to be the check on the executive? It's Parliament. Well, we have a system in our country here that 60%, at least 50% of government appointees with respect to ministerial positions are supposed to be from Parliament.
Yes.
So that seeming conflict of interest is there. So who is the best check? It's the minority. And we've seen it since 1992. So to make it seem as if it's just about MPP, I was waiting for Nu to refer to a statement by the New Patriotic Party, but it's a minority in parliament and they represent Ghanaians.
But the party also held a press conference.
Yes, but at the end of the day, they held press conferences. Didn't they hold press conferences led by Sammy Gyamfi in all the instances that she has mentioned? Are most of them still not under investigation? Were most of them not investigated? But the difference here is they are refusing to let laws work. Just as they don't give regard to constitutional rules. Not just a few days ago, the president left, the vice president is not the speaker, and the country was on autopilot. They don't give regard to laws in this country. So if she says that an apology is okay, is that how the standards we are going to adhere to? Forget about the Anti-Laundering Act, right? Forget about the Foreign Exchange Act. What about political accountability? Is nothing anymore? The things that is shouted about? What about conduct of public officials? Why put together a code of conduct and launch it at the expense of taxpayers? For the fun of it? Or another populist move by them? What else do we have to say? What will the state lose if this is investigated by the appropriate institutions, rather than the government of the day trying to be judge and jury?
So that's what basically you want.
Investigate it.
Investigation into
yes.
the matter.
We need to know.
Even though she says
you see
she
all the things. Look, since 1992, it's been the NDC and the MPP. MPP will accuse NDC. We move on. NDC will accuse them. We've been doing that for what? Over 30 years. So they shouted about all the things done right in the previous administration just to come to power and do same. Is that what they are telling us? That they didn't learn anything when they lost in 2016. They didn't learn. So on what basis were they saying the things we were saying during the electioneering campaign? On what basis? To come? Is it because we're not the ones doing it? They wanted to come to power and do it better than us? Is that what they are telling us? Please.
But they're calling
We've come a long way as a country. The confidence the citizenry is losing in the political class. It's not something anybody should joke with. It goes against anyone, be it MPP, be NDC, be CPP, be PNC. We are building this nation. Let's do things within the laws we set for ourselves. Before this code of conduct, there are laws that regulate public office area. Why is there a procurement law? So nobody gets up and just decides, I'm purchasing this, I'm purchasing that. But today, they are holding people by the procurement law. Why do we have an act for the Auditor General? Why do we have Public Accounts Committee?
Right.
But they decided to go further and put together a code of conduct. They have done that before. They've done a new one. Are they going to put together a new code of conduct every time they come into power just for the fun of it? Please. Let the documents you're putting together speak to the purpose of it.
Right.
And I don't think No will be saying what she said if she at least reads the first paragraph of the message of the president in the code of conduct when we're having this conversation.
Well, she says in the coming days we'll be hearing.
It's not a matter of coming days.
We'll get to know.
It's not a matter of coming days. The two of you are media practitioners. Timing of information is key. Unless I'm wrong. It's basic. If the chief of staff, on the day he invited Sammy Gyamfi, had come out with a statement, wouldn't it have informed it?
How did people know the chief of staff had invited Sammy Gyamfi?
So why do you tell us you've invited him and cannot tell us how it panned out? It wasn't a meeting that lasted how many hours? Before you know, okay, what if I sit down and say, okay, Chief of Staff called me, they just drank tea and they are done. That's it. So you leave room for speculation.
I mean, some judge even said that the query had been issued.
Query, where's the query?
You want everything.
When he was being appointed, didn't we all see the letter? If he's been queried, we don't have the right to see the query of our employee.
Right.
We don't.
Right.
Please.
No.
They are in power. They should know that there's no campaign after election. They are no longer in opposition.
We need to move on from this.
Please do.
Indeed, why I'm going to keep my submission short and simple.
Right.
She makes mention of a lot of things. You know, when you ask for an investigation, at the same time you are asking for an immediate statement. Investigation doesn't happen in 2 minutes. It takes a while, right? Issue, the people you want to investigate the issue, I'm sure they will investigate it for you. You have included other people who you want to look at the issue. Wait for their response. You even wait for the responses of the people you have called on. You know, you yourself, you've gone to town crying about the issue all over, making as much noise as possible. In this country, when we talk about corruption, who are the mother serpents of corruption? The NPP came to power on the back of propaganda that vilified the NDC, only to come and expose themselves in ways the people of Ghana have never seen before. To the extent that they got voted out in the worst loss ever. That should show them the public perception out there. She mentions public confidence, the public confidence in the political class declining. If you look at the Afrobarometer survey from 2017, that's when there were a lot of concerns about democracy, and there was a decline in citizen satisfaction with democracy since 2020. It went progressively worse. It got so bad, there were times when citizens expressed alarming views, almost violent views. 2017 onwards, who was in power? The data is out there to support what I'm saying. I'm not here to give you false news, fake news, disinformation. DD has also done it. There's a lot of goodwill. The NPP is struggling to chip away at that goodwill unsuccessfully.
Right.
I end with saying that we know only one mother serpent of corruption in this country. It is not you. It is not me. It is not the NDC. It is the NPP.
Well, that's Nuong Faalong.
It was supposed to be short.
Oh, it wasn't short. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, but Joshua, you see, no needs to be consistent in what she said.
Right.
In one breath, he has apologized.
Yes.
In another breath, you wanted investigated what? Chief of Staff has called him.
You are the one asking for investigation.
Chief of Staff has called him. What happened? He just told us he's been called, without telling us what he was called for, what he said. You know, we moved on from this nation.
So that needs to be made public.
That needs to be made public. He's the Chief of Staff of the Republic of Ghana. He's not Chief of Staff in his company. And you see, that's what I'm saying. We can keep on, if we start from 1992, the two of us can jab each other or raise it. But where does it end? And I will still ask, did they shout about the things that were not being done right? You see how conveniently she go and mention someone's name and say and talk about God. It's when I hear our compatriots talk, I smile because we said words 2017 to 2019.
Right.
You get it? And sometimes you get excited being in power, especially when before we got almost 1 million votes. It had never happened in Ghana. Today they have almost 1.7. So the excitement is there. But just know that the same people who shouted and drew the attention to what is not being done right are the same people who brought you to power.
Okay.
So if you were shouting to come and do worse, we are seeing it. If you were shouting to come and do right, we are seeing it.
Okay.
So if now you think people are making noise because they are asking for you to adhere to the same standards bush plummeted. It's going to be a long 4 years.
All right, so that's the conversation there. You can also join us on social media. We're going for a quick break, but when we come back, we're talking about Kwabena Adu-Boahene, and then Professor Mayor Gyamfi, and then Mr. Samuel also charged over the Sky Train scandal. Stick and stay with us. We'll be right back.
GHOne OV van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis' state funeral, Miss Africa awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GHOne van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GHOne provides it.
My experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew, ICC, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter who's in that studio as well and get that running.
To give an experience to our audience who are also watching on TVs and online. Work with an Exo technology system which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras.
All right, you're still tuned into the breakfast review segment of GA Today here on GH1 Television. I'm here with Faalong, NDC Communications Team member, and then Lawuratu, who is with the NPP's Communications Team. So we just finished talking about Sammy Gyamfi and matters arising. It's not as though we can even conclude talking on that matter, but we need to move on.
Hello, special Sammy Gyamfi.
But now, Kwabena Adu-Boahene, I mean, the man was granted bail and rearrested and now charged with issues relating to Ghana Water Limited, among others. His lawyer, his lead counsel, Atachian, is not happy. He says that if we do not take care, the man in question would have no option than to now spill state security secrets based to defend himself based on how the investigations are going. Laura.
Joshua, this issue has been going on for, I think, since the NDC took power. It was one of the things they started.
And it was one of the things we never saw coming.
You never did what?
We never saw this particular issue. People did not even know about the man in question.
Well, because he was more of a public servant than a strictly political appointee, because he's been with that establishment since 2007.
Yes, he was even deputy director before becoming.
Rose through the ranks. I think became deputy during the NDC's time. Then became head of the institution. So he's seen it. He's been through it all. Worked with different governments. I've always maintained that anybody who's shortchanged or deemed should have shortchanged this country should face the laws. But one thing we must all avert our minds to, I think with all due respect, the Attorney General was a bit reckless in the beginning.
How?
Look, this is someone who is heading National Signals Bureau, an institution that is part of our national security establishment, backed by law. It used to be what? Bureau of National Signals.
Yes, this is Signals Bureau.
It was changed to
the National
Signals Bureau. That tells you the importance of that establishment. That tells you the critical infrastructure that establishment deals with. This person is deemed to have done some wrong. There's a reason why Parliament that passes the budget of our security establishment doesn't go into details. Because then you end up putting your critical information, how you're protecting your states in the public domain. We don't live on an island. We live within a global or national, subnational thing. And these days, information is by the second. People sitting wherever they want to sit and can interfere with your systems. We are in a time where our critical assets are all going digital. So you have ECG now, you can pay online and all that. All those things have to be protected. If someone wants to mess us up and just goes and puts something in one of the power installations or one of the water supply pipes, it's a disaster. So you have such a person, you deem as shortchange this country. There are laws. But if you hold the whole press conference, the last time I was here I told you, I think it's too populist. And for an AG of his caliber, a member of parliament for that matter, with all his experience in there, you call a press conference and decide to trial such a person in the court of public opinion. That is where the problem started. There are laws. You've charged him. Why all this pomp and pageantry in the public? Is it that your evidence is weak? Or you're just overwhelmed? Or you just want to appease your grassroots who are agitating? You saw the noise with oral. Accusing people to the extent of even calling the chief of staff, sending the chief of staff, former chief of staff, a WhatsApp message to come and help with assessing the former president's troubles. You need to be very careful about these things. Yes, people must face the law, no matter what. Because every pessoa counts to the development of this country. But as a lawyer that believes and touts the fact that people are not guilty until proven guilty by a court of competent jurisdiction, I think in the beginning, and I hope it doesn't continue like that. Now you are just moving the gentleman around, curtailing his freedom and all that, and it's agitating his lawyer. If you keep pushing, and he also decides that, look, I want my freedom, let me say it, because obviously he has superiors. He didn't work alone. And those superiors include Parliament. And the current Attorney General was then chair of subsidiary legislation. That worked and changed the name from its previous name to now National, giving it some legal backing for what is its new purposes. So we have to be measured in some of these things.
Right.
If the man has shortchanged that, let him face the law. And let's go. But all the circus, we're not immune to the benefits of this nation. So for how long will we be going on the back and forth? We've arrested him, we've released him. Now his lawyer is agitated. Does it have to get to that? If that circus wasn't started in the beginning.
No.
I think we are losing sight of the actual issue that we are dealing with. I do not think AG Ayine is engaging in any public circus. What he is doing is give the good people of Ghana the information that they need. Imagine if you arrest someone and you don't explain why you've arrested the person. You will have a lot of people criticizing the AG for that. Okay?
So it's not populist?
No, there's nothing populist about it. The rearrest, we read it on the news. The AG didn't even mention it. Amiya Ekumfi and Asamoah, the AG did not, we simply heard it on the news.
But the AG had told us last week.
Yes, he mentioned it because, listen, In the last 8 years before the NDC, Ghanaians had a lot of built-up anger against corruption. Because the kind of corruption that went on in this country was honestly the worst that we have ever seen. And part of the reason, I told you the Afrobarometer reports mentioned Ghanaians a decline in confidence in democracy. This was because they had become helpless, angry at the levels of corruption that they were experiencing and their inability to do anything about it.
Right.
When the NDC came out with oral as one of their campaign promises, you saw how the masses welcomed it because they have been waiting for Judgment Day. If you are a criminal and Judgment Day is coming, we cannot blame the AG for doing his job. You understand? She mentions he has superiors. There was Parliament involved in some of the approvals. Parliament is not in his office. They are not there to allegedly cook deals with him. They were not there when he was diverting the money. If Parliament approves a transaction, because you have brought a document showing this is an invoice for the transaction, and then you go and pay that money from the state's account directly into your personal account. Was Parliament there? Were your superiors there? Did they also sanction that? If your superiors did, if you worked in conjunction with anyone to cause financial loss to the state, mention them. Please, mention them, no matter who they are. I am also one of the people that I completely support accountability. We need to move away from the lack of accountability in our politics to a place where we can build trust. The good people of Ghana come to trust the political class for the good things that they are doing and for accounting for the use of state funds.
But where do we draw the line? Because Adu-Boahene says that if we push him, the things he would say would bother on state security.
He's threatening.
National security will be under threat.
So he's making threats so that they will release him. After all this overwhelming evidence, 49 million Ghana cedis. You just move it to your account just like that. The state coffers are not your piggy bank. 49 million Ghana cedis. You only transferred some of that for the purpose of the actual transaction, and then the rest you just used it to go. You went to the market with it, buying properties, buying all sorts of things.
He says some of the properties that were mentioned, he has no idea of this.
Yet they are in his name. Yet they are in his name.
He says it's a figment of the imagination of the prosecutors.
But these are verifiable. Look, when the properties were mentioned, did you see the details? They mentioned the estate he buys it. They mentioned the streets on which he bought it, right? 27 houses here, 2 here, 3 there. Some even outside the country. I'm sure there are some that have not been discovered. These are the ones that have been traced. What about those that he transacted in cash and nobody knows where, with who, or how it was done? You say you want to reveal state secrets. Reveal it. In this country, we have seen a whole national security minister on tape in his pajamas. Reveal the secrets that you want to reveal. National security do not collapse. Is it Adu-Boahene who will come and collapse national security for us?
He says they are very sensitive.
The corruption he engaged in did not collapse national security. It is sensitive. Yes, of course, in his position, he had access to information that you and I might not have.
True.
But you cannot use that as leverage to demand that you be just freed for all the crimes you have committed. After he was released on bail, he was rearrested for a different thing.
Yeah.
That should tell you the number of atrocities this man has involved himself in. Let me just read some of it for you. He was rearrested on a 1.3 million a month alleged fraud on another state agency after being granted bail in the 49 million cybersecurity fraud. So as the investigation goes on, there are things he engaged in that are even being discovered. One person, how much corruption did you involve yourself in? This is just one human being. You and I should be alarmed. He has been rearrested. The process is in court. If the court finds him guilty, the needful will be done. If the court finds him innocent, I cannot pronounce him guilty.
Right.
These are allegations. The AG has done, before the AG comes out to charge anyone, he has done the investigation. If he has no substantive information and evidence, he will not come out and come and make charges.
But there are questions that if indeed the AG has done his background work, why would he demand that he be remanded because he's allegedly interfering with the AG's witnesses?
And you saw the penalty for interfering with the witnesses, right? People have rights in this country. Regardless of the fact that he has been charged, we cannot say you are going to keep him behind bars forever. There's a period and there's a process. If the law says he has to be released, he has been released. Unfortunately for him, he did not commit only one crime. He committed several. He can only blame himself for his present situation. Not the NDC, not the AG. He willingly decided to involve himself in all of these situations. And he has been arrested for it. Look, Ghana is claiming, Ghana is you and I, that this gentleman, Adu-Boahene, built the Ghana Water Company 600,000 cedis every fortnight. Seriously. We think these are issues that we should just allow to slide. It doesn't matter if they are our party people. Once they have involved themselves in these kind of corrupt practices, for the sake of this country, we lose so much money to corruption. We are a poor country. We are out there borrowing for simple projects. Imagine the amount of development these monies can be used to do in this country. Look, 600,000 cedis every fortnight for internet cyber security production by the National Signals Bureau. He seems to have, I think, the NPP, I don't know what they are defending. For the sake of Ghana, if the gentleman is guilty, due process has to be allowed. And the AG has done nothing untoward in this case. Everything has been clearly explained. That's why the information is given when the action is taken. He has been arrested. Why has he been arrested? This is what he did. If you think there's nothing wrong with it, that's unfortunate.
Right.
We cannot encourage corruption in this country. If you decide to willingly cause loss to the state, to enrich yourself beyond reason, the state has a right to come after you.
Okay.
That is what is being done.
Right.
Now, moving on to Asamoah and Ameya Kumfi. $2 million.
The SkyTrain
disappeared in the SkyTrain scandal. The NPP has a penchant for putting huge sums of government money into empty places. Empty hole, empty skies. We can't even trace the money. $2 million. It was meant for a SkyTrain project. Well, I remember when the SkyTrain project was first pushed forward. There were so many posts on social media that were actually happy about it. Well, like, okay, I didn't believe in it much, but I wanted to see it done because I was marveling at, so we can actually put trains in the sky in this country. I mean, I will also enter the train, right, and go wherever I'm going. It works for me too. So I wanted to see the project actually done. At the end of the day, you transfer $2 million into an account somewhere in Seychelles, right? Now we cannot trace who the money went to. The money cannot be retrieved. Asamoah is telling us that he had board approval. The board is singing that they did not approve it. It's not the AG who is saying it all. It is the board that is saying they did not approve. And guess what? There are members of the board willing to testify in this case. The case is just clean and open. The NDC is not making up any stories. We are simply investigating the cases of corruption look, the corruption that is being discovered, Ghanaians didn't even know half of it. Like you mentioned earlier, in the case of Adu-Boahene, it was not even part of the headline issues. It It was not part of the headline allegations and accusations of corruption against the previous government. He was not part of it. But once you discover it, what do? It is the job of the AG to process the case.
Right.
In the case of Asamoah Ekumfi, Ekumfi says that he was made to understand by Asamoah that it had been approved, right? So he also went ahead with it based on the recommendation he got from Asamoah. Now, Asamoah also claims he went ahead with the transaction because there was because the board has to approve. But the same board that you say approved the transaction, they are saying they didn't do it. But if you claim that they truly did, you have your day in court.
Right.
Evidence is the name of the game. If they approved it, show evidence. The date, the time, the people who were there at the meeting, the approval. Where
when other regions are not? Because the issues are real, especially when you go to the northern part of this country. So anybody who has shortchanged us in any way, but like I said, the AG has brought us here. This issue that this Ghana water issue that they are arresting him for,
yes,
it was part of the litany of allegations the AG mentioned in his press conference.
Yes.
So why are you arresting him for that now? So now they are going to every week they are going to arrest him for one crime. Is that how they want to go about it? You said the man has done A, B, C, D. Now why are you singling them out? Is that the approach they want to use? They want to keep him forever. At the end of the day, the state is losing money. The state is losing money in the name of chasing money. So they've charged him. Can we get it over and done with? And this, I'll catch you, I'll release you, I'll catch you, I'll release you. It goes against the state. The same money we are looking for. Time is essential to all these things. I mean, for the Sky Train bit, yes, I'm told the former CEO has pled not guilty, right, to all the 3 charges. But I hope he's there in court. That I totally agree with you. I hope he's there in court. That is how it should be. You've charged him. He's been billed like 15 million or so with social sureties. Let it proceed. If they are guilty, so be it. If they are not, they have their freedom back. But we shouldn't be populist about some of these things. We can't overemphasize that.
Okay.
If they've shortchanged us, let us have it.
So for you, it should not be playing out in the public domain as it should, as it is currently. It should be left to the court, simply.
But if we wanted to do public thing, they won't solve anything.
But you said the president in his inaugural speech pledged that
so you've
to make sure that the people get to know the decisions that are taken, and that's what the AG is doing.
You've charged him, right? There's a writ. And what I know, I'm not a legal person, but what I know is that you can deal with the substance of the issue once it's in court.
Yes.
Isn't that what we are doing? I'm not going into details. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a layman, or should I say laywoman? Isn't that what we are doing?
Is that?
Yes, that's
Are we getting to the merit of the case?
At the end of the day, for all these things, to the extent that the accused lawyer will say, if push comes to shove, you spill the beans. Who is the biggest loser in all this? We lose our money, we lose the secrecy of our security issues. Let's deal with it the way it has to be dealt with. And like still maintain, anybody who should change this country must face the law. We need money at over 60-something years as a country. Some of the issues we are bedeviled with are issues we should be bedeviled with. I mean, I always say that I can only speak to 1992 to date.
Yes.
History is generally subjective. It's from the perspective of, but I can talk to the things that I've reason I also have an opinion on. Since 1992, it's been back and forth. Do we continue doing this? We have a president who's been there before is back. We still want to be going back into the days, or want to make it better. You should tell us.
But I'm glad that in all of the conversation I've had so far, nobody has mentioned the word witch hunting. Not from the MPP has not talked about the fact that they feel being witch hunted by this move from the Attorney General.
Why should it be witch hunting? I mean, the person has been accused of things they've done or have not done, according to them. Like I said, the sky train thing, the CEO says he's not guilty. But it's up to the court and the evidence the AG will present, and his response to that evidence. That will come to the decision at the end of the day. We saw this, you remember Honorable Samawati? Was back and forth. What happened with it? NDC has done this before. That's why sometimes we come in to say these things. In 2009, how many people didn't they bring to court? Over 40. How many of them were they able to join? Is that what they are repeating? Because it's the same team.
Right.
Doing it. That's why we are worried.
Okay.
It shouldn't just be dragging people. It should be for a purpose. You see the shortchangers. Get us our money, or get us what the punishment is if they've really done that. As for this case, the AG and the officer going through, I think it must be discouraged.
Right. And on that's what we're looking forward to. You get us our money or the conviction if indeed
both.
Or both. Okay.
Because you can't just say because someone has brought back the money, then they are free, right? There has to be a deterrent. Even for the present...
You just said someone apologizes is not an issue.
You see, even for the present appointees,
yes,
you cannot create a situation where you make them think it's okay to pilfer state funds and go free, right? The case she's mentioned, I do not want to go into it because it does not relate to this particular incident. The person has not been charged with causing financial loss to the state. The person, there's no... evidence that the person has even stolen state funds, right? In the case of this sky train, Adu-Boahene, all of that, it's a game of evidence.
Right.
The state is saying that in your care, $2 million got missing. You are saying that you had approval to do the transaction. The people who approve for you to do the transaction say you are lying. Seriously. If you say they are also lying, come and give us the evidence.
Right.
And before someone can be established as guilty or innocent, it has to go to court. So if you are worried about them being dragged to court, I don't see any way out of that. They all have to go to court.
I guess the worry is how the Attorney General is going about it.
The people of Ghana are interested in how their money was used.
Okay.
So you give the information. If there's a buzz after the information, that's not in control. You know, that is from the masses. They decide what to do with the information. They are angry about the information. They are discussing the information. It's all over. The AG doesn't discuss the issue after that. He's just put the information out there as he is required to do.
Okay.
Do you understand? If the AG is working without giving us updates, look, if they come to arrest your uncle, you'll be angry. You want all these people have families. She's rejecting it. You want the information to be out there, right? Everyone is somehow connected to someone. Adu-Boahene has someone's wife, someone's husband, someone's best friend, someone's church elder. You know, they all want an explanation. And the AG has professionally done his job and put the information out there.
Okay.
She mentioned coming from a deprived area. I'm from Lura. My hometown, from Accra to my hometown, if you sit inside a car, it will use about 15 hours before you get there. On a normal day, that journey is like maybe 10, 11 hours. But if you see the road going to my hometown, the car cannot even speed. So the cars go slowly. So look at that road. You think 49 million Cedis couldn't have made some change over there? By the time you get to my hometown and you've entered one of those buses, you will get there with, 9 dust all over your hair and your face.
But they'll have their day in court.
Exactly.
Okay.
You say you are innocent. Fair enough.
Oh, no.
Nobody is going to bulldoze your rights and say that even if you are innocent, we are going to incarcerate you.
Okay.
You are innocent, show evidence.
That's
right?
Right.
And since we are closing, I just want to again reiterate that JM, J2, why ye be do?
Nuong
Thank you.
Faalong, communications team member of the NDC, and Lawuratu.
These were the same people who were complaining about sloganeering. The same people were saying we are celebrating mediocrity. Today she's doing J2. Okay. Let it affect the basics.
Okay.
Let it affect the kinky. Let it affect the Gary.
She says give time.
Also, the said cement.
At least praise us
so iron rods are if cement is.
We have done what you could not do.
So
Lawuratu.
we can only wish them well because if it's good, it's for all of us. But they should stop their populism and propaganda. It doesn't solve it.
Lawuratu Musah-Saaka, she's also a member of the communications team of the New Patriotic Party. That's how we draw the curtains on the breakfast review segment. We have Health Alert coming up after this break. Stay with us. Well, thank you so much for being with us here this morning. It's time to zoom into the health segment, Health Alert. Today we're talking hypertension, and I'm sure that some of you might have an idea or two, and there are some misconceptions you also do have about hypertension, among others. But to help us with the conversation this morning, I have two medical doctors, physician specialists from the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, Ridge. Yes, Dr. Seth Amegan Setufia and Dr. Ya Brako. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, when I meet doctors, I get excited. Intelligent people. But I mean, today we're talking hypertension. Let me start with you, Doc. What is hypertension?
Yes, so because we are virtually going to be talking to the whole world, GHOne is, everywhere. So you will have to break it down to the minute. So it just means having a high BP or your BP. What you go to the hospital, they measure with the BP cuff or the BP machine, means your values are higher than normal, right? Okay. So when we're talking about hypertension, we're just talking about having BPs that are higher than normal. Yes, so in an everyday balance or everyday explanation, we're just talking about having BPs that are higher than normal. Yes, later on we'll probably go into what values we will need, or the general public will need to know when you see those values. Yes, you probably have to talk to your doctor about these values when you go to a pharmacy, or you may have the machine in your house and you measure and notice that these values are, as we say, not normal. Yes. So when you have these situations, yes.
Then you know you're hypertensive.
Yes.
Doc, so what's the danger? I mean, if my BP is high, what has happened to me?
A lot, actually, because we also call it the silent killer. For more often than not, there's a lot going on and you might not even be feeling anything.
Wow.
So for hypertension, it affects virtually every part of your body. It can affect all the vital organs in the body, right from the brain to all the blood vessels, even in your feet. Okay, so your heart, the brain, the kidneys, your eyes. So that's why we keep talking about it, because more often than not, you don't feel anything and you think you're fine, but there's a lot going on. And then it can lead to a heart attack. You can get a stroke. You'll hear you have kidney issues. You're going blind. And maybe you've developed a clot somewhere, or you have poor blood circulation to your feet. You see, and it can also bring on other chronic medical illnesses like diabetes, having bad cholesterol, being high in the body. So a lot is going on.
And for most people, and I can say myself included, if not for the fact that perhaps you have a medical condition and have to go to the hospital, we never check. So we have no idea.
Right.
And I had a conversation with someone last week. She mentioned that, she asked me a question, when last did you check? I said, I've never done it in my life. And she was so alarmed. You are supposed to know better. How come you've never done this? So what leads people to get to the stage where your levels are now going high?
Yes, so let me take it from where you told me you've never checked. I mean, that's the essence of the main measurement, right? So, I mean, we've realized people would never check. I mean, typical health-seeking behavior of humans, let me not say Africans, maybe Africans, we have a worse one, but of humans, unless you have your toe itching you or you're having some headache, we will never go to the hospital.
True.
And I mean, I can go and buy paracetamol in the pharmacy when I have a headache. Probably a headache will go away, so then I may never visit the hospital for probably till I get an emergency. So that's the essence of what we are doing in this month. So we've actually designated the whole of May that at least, if from January to December you're not doing anything about your BPs, in the month of May, just walk into a pharmacy, walk into a clinic, get a BP machine at home, talk to a doctor, talk to a nurse, measure your BPs, know what values you are dealing with as a human, so that, or as a person, so that you know the risk that these values actually can contribute to your life, right? So it's important. So that's the essence of this message we keep pushing, and that's one of the reasons why we are here, to push that. At least if you don't do anything at all in the month of May, try and measure your BP.
I wish you had brought a machine. I'll do it on air.
Actually, we have one.
Please, you need to check my values.
We'll check your
I'm not comfortable not knowing now.
Exactly.
Yeah, because if you're not sick and then you go to the hospital where your vitals would have to be checked, no, we don't.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm fit. Then the next thing you hear, oh, he's there though.
Exactly.
Oh, he was hale and hearty. He was strong. But then things might be happening. Yeah. So again, what causes hypertension? Let me come to you, doctor.
Yes. So for hypertension, there are a lot of causes. We have primary and then secondary causes. Okay. But essentially, the ones we're talking about today is the one that we can't necessarily point that this is, we call it essential hypertension. So there might not be any direct causative underlying cause. Okay. But then you have it. It can start as early as the age of 25 years for you to develop hypertension. Wow. And this will be based on maybe some genetic predisposition in your family. When your mom or your dad have hypertension, you have a high risk of having hypertension as well.
Okay.
Your diet and lifestyle also contributes to it. If you're not exercising regularly, if you're obese, you're abusing alcohol, and you're smoking, all these things contribute to you developing hypertension.
Wow. Yeah. So I see a lot of lifestyle in there.
Definitely.
Aside the fact that it could be in the family, so you can trace it to maybe your mom, your aunt, then you know you're also at risk.
Yeah.
And we are educating people in this month of May. So what was the theme for this year's commemoration of Hypertension Day?
Yes, so our theme this year, the WHO theme this year for all of us is, measure your blood pressures accurately, control it, and live longer. It goes back to what we are saying.
Exactly.
If you know your values, you would know what to do about these values, and you live longer. It's a modifiable risk factor for all of us. If you have essential hypertension, it doesn't mean a key to death, right? It can be well controlled. There are hypertensives who develop hypertension at the age of 25 and they are 90 years and they are still living without any problems. So if you know your values, or you measure your values accurately and know you have BP and you can control it, you will surely. That's what we are preaching this month of May.
So the key thing is you need to know.
You need to know. The first thing is you need to know. You need to measure it.
They say what you don't know does not kill you.
Unfortunately,
because people feel that with HIV and all of those things, once I test and I know, now I'm now killing myself. And that's a myth.
It's a huge myth, actually. It's a huge myth. Yes, because if you know it, you know how to control it. Just as you said, someone was happy, chatty, the next minute he's falling down, he's rushed to a hospital, and he's had a stroke, he's dead. Yes, he's likely been living with hypertension for 10 years without knowing. If he knew, he would have controlled his values, the pressures within his vessels would have been low, the likelihood of he having a stroke would have reduced, and he won't have that sudden death that he had. So yes, if you know your values, you measure them accurately, you control them, you have a longer life to live.
Right? Interesting. Yeah. So you mentioned, Doc, excessive smoking, abusing alcohol, all of these things can also be causative factors. So we should stop them.
Yes, if we can, why not? Smoking, we don't have any room. We do not tolerate smoking. Because smoking, even on the pack of the cigarette box, it talks about how bad it is. For alcohol, it seems there's some room for it. However, new studies coming up are even saying that we should stop taking in alcohol. So it's mainly exercising and then the foods that we eat, doing more of whole foods, and then incorporating healthy lifestyles, doing more walks, reducing our sedentary lifestyles. At least 30 to 40 minutes, 3 times or 4 times in a week, we should be active, and then trying to reduce our stress levels. I know it's not easy, but we have to find a way.
And I wanted to find out, is there something about my job that would expose me? Because no, I know colleagues who've had the courage to test and to check their levels and realize that, Charlie, my BP day high or that kind of thing. Is there something about our jobs? Is it the stress?
Possibly. It could be contributing to it, but it could be many factors. We're not sure what you're eating while you're working. We're not sure how active you are when you're not working. We're not sure if you're getting enough
sleep. So I'm sitting, I'm not doing exercise. The only exercise I do is when I leave the house to come to work. I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess we all need to do better.
No, but I mean, you mentioned something very interesting. Age 25.
Right.
Is there something that is exposing young people also to hypertension these days?
Yeah, so that's what she said. So basically, you have a contributory factor. It's multifactorial. I mean, different factors. So family history, some predisposition, then your risk factors. You're smoking, you are taking alcohol, you are excessively stressed, unhealthy lifestyle, sedentary lifestyle. All these things will compound on or your predisposition already. And I mean, basically what we have in vogue now, excessive caffeine intake, drugs that raises your BPs, people being excessively stressed, sedentary lifestyles, taking excessive sodium, all these things are virtually compounding on what we already have in terms of familial history. So then we are seeing more younger people coming in with BPs because of all these things. People are working literally 18 hours a day. I mean, so much stress. So, I mean, all these things are compounding on the baseline. She's mentioned essential hypertension. So the baseline risk factor or the baseline predisposition you already have.
Right.
So then it makes it worse. So, yeah.
Oof. So this year, the commemoration is on the 17th of May, but then it's a whole month. So what are we doing? What are we doing to commemorate Hypertension Day?
Okay, so we had a walk just this past Saturday.
Okay.
And then we had a health screening at the mall after we took the walk. And this coming Saturday, we have another CPD program coming up. And then we also have a general lecture that we'll be having on the 30th.
Okay.
So we're going to churches, police stations, we're going to workplaces. We're trying to go down to the communities to help us know that in as much as you're checking your BPs, it's not enough. You have to check it accurately, and then you know your numbers so that you can control it. It's not good enough to know that you have a BP of 150/80 and you're not feeling anything, so you think it's fine. It needs to be well controlled so that these complications do not come. We actually preach preventive medicine, but people think that doctors, we're all for come to us and let's give you medicine or injection.
Yeah, that's how you make your money.
No, please. We wish we were at home too, actually. If everybody is fine, we're also fine.
Right.
So
Then you'll be out of job.
we are not complaining. We'll find something else to do. Let's all be healthy.
But the preventive is very important.
Very key.
That people, as much as possible, prevent it from happening. But then if it happens, it's not a death warrant.
Exactly.
And we should know that.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, as part of the programs, we visiting a few mosques this Friday, then Saturday will be a Mamobi market. And don't be surprised to see us in your yard very soon.
Please come. And I'm sure that when you start with us, you stop going to church and mosques. You go to media houses.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I mean, not only GHOne, almost every media house. Don't be surprised to see us in your compound. Any churches at all, the mosques. I mean, everywhere.
But you mentioned numbers 150/80. I don't understand.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, in terms of the numbers, what is normal? What is abnormal?
Yes, so show true. Okay.
Right.
Okay, so for us, your blood pressure, there are two numbers. Okay. And then we want your normal, ideally should be less than 130/80. And so, as I said, there are two numbers, and it should be between anything less than 130 for the systolic. There's a systolic and then a diastolic. Anything below that, we're good. Sometimes if it's below 140/80, we're also fine. But then we know that you're beginning to develop high blood pressure. Ideally, if you're in the 120s, that's all well and good. Okay. So we're preaching that when you go check your BP anywhere, you ask for the numbers. The 3-digit one should be hopefully less than 130. Even if it's gone up, should be less than 140. Okay. And then anything, don't let it be. Don't let it be. That's why we're here.
Right,
so if you see anything more than that, just find any clinic near you. You can come to Ridge, wherever, and then the appropriate help will be given to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doc, I'll take your final words.
Yes. So, I mean, just as the team goes, measure it accurately, control it, and live longer. We want everyone to live longer. At least we want the workforce of Ghana to live longer. Because virtually, if you look at mortality or people who die in most of our hospitals, it's the active workforce, and it's number one contributory factor. It's hypertension. So I think we need bigger platforms. We would keep pushing this message across every home, at least everywhere that we find ourselves. We need to preach about hypertension. Let's make sure it's well controlled, and we'll all live longer and we'll have a happy Ghana. So thank you.
Live longer and have a happy Ghana. Dr. Seth Amegan Sechofia and then Dr. Ya Brakon. They are all physician specialists at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. So check it, measure it accurately. I'm going to measure mine. I will not do it on air. I'm going to measure it off air and get to know exactly where I stand. But it's very important that you also get to know where you stand. And if you are 130 and below, all well and good. If you're above, you need to change certain things about your lifestyle and then see a medical expert, a doctor, to help you on that journey. That's it for Health Alert this morning. We have more for you. Stay with us.
Today here on GHOne TV, my name is Emmanuel Gyamfi. We're about to have a conversation about our mothers. Our mothers, because just gone by over the weekend, we celebrated our mothers, recognizing the values they have instilled in us by way of birth, by way of training, by way of upbringing, and all of the other adjectives you would want to attach to it. Here at GHOne TV, we celebrated our mothers over the weekend, and I want to believe that the show hosted by Blessing, you did enjoy it. But how did we come by all of this? How did we put it all together? And who supported us as a channel to bring this program all together? I've been joined in studio now by three wonderful people. I'll introduce them, and then we'll get straight into the conversation. I'll start with my far right. I have Ebenezer Ankama, who is with the marketing department of Razaaly. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
As well, we have Mrs. Mary Ayen, who is the head of compliance and risk at Rapid Link Microfinance Limited. You're welcome.
Thank you.
And as well, our very own Cecil Sovereign, who is the sales manager here at the EIB network. Cecil, good morning.
Good morning, bro.
I would want to start off with you. The unplanned journey.
Sure.
Our event on the 11th of May, the ideation and the purpose for why that particular program and even the theme. Why?
Sure. So every year, like every organization, we met at our strategic meeting and we decided to celebrate our mothers in a special way. Initially, our plan was just to celebrate single mothers or mothers who have children with special needs and also running businesses. The whole team sat down and realized that was a very good thing to do, especially mothers who also have children with special needs. During our search, we realized that some of the mothers that we got had even lost their husbands. And like all of us know, even taking care of children who, in quote, are normal, it's not even easy to talk of children with special needs. So the whole team did so well. And let me first off thank the producer, Soma Gifty, for taking upon herself, as well as Blessing and the crew, Francis. They went all out. We went to do their recording, their day-to-day recording. And we even had a very wonderful time with Flora, as well as Dampon Medical Center. Flora took them through how to grow their businesses. So these three women, one sells wachi, the popular wachi. The other also sells kinky and fish. And the third does grocery, what we call in Ghana provisions. And the stories were so catchy that we got a lot of sponsors on board. So this morning, that's why we are here to thank them.
Right. Wonderful stories, but we couldn't have brought that program together without the help of so many sponsors. We are privileged. We have two of them here. But given the reason for the occasion and the program, I want to start with a woman, Mrs. Mary. For you as Rapid Link Microfinance, what really drew you to this program?
Okay. Rapid Link Microfinance is actually a company who we are into empowering women. Okay, so what we did was we started vibrantly empowering women in 2023. So when we heard the story, we decided to come on board, to come and support, because imagine yourself with healthy children. It's not easy, let alone taking care of children with special needs. I believe that they are really strong women. They are really resilient to be able to come this far, so many years taking care of these children. And I really admire them personally. My institution is also very, very happy to be on board to support them one way.
Once again, we want to say thank you so much for joining us on this particular program to celebrate our mothers. Ebenezer,
yes.
As our beings.
Yes. So as we know, we are one of the best companies in the coating industries when it comes to painting industries. Once we got the opportunity, we realized that our mothers are people who play a very key role in our lives. And a day such as this that has been dedicated for mothers, we couldn't just pass by. So for us, basically we are interested in the family. We try to make sure that the families, that is where our goal is. So when the Mother's Day issues came up, we realized that no, this is a place that we would like to invest in, because we are all about the family. So mothers are people who play a very key role in our lives, and
a day such as this, we would like to take the time to also appreciate them.
So shares the stories of these mothers we celebrated and how unique their stories are. For you at Azar, how did their stories appeal to you?
Well, from our point, these are touching stories. These are some of the things that we actually aim to empower. For when it comes to mothers, stories like this that has been shared, it's touching, because sometimes going through the struggles of motherhood is not easy. So when you realize that we have some key individuals who are playing key roles in the lives of children or in the lives of their children, it's something we would like to invest in, and that is why we came on board.
Great. Mary, you mentioned that for you had always been empowering women. Your business, Rapid Link Microfinance, yes. It's one that is at the core of your business. For the mothers we celebrated over the weekend, for you, what unique thing did you see about their story and the experience for you as well?
Okay, so the unique thing is the kind of energy that they have, because we hear of these stories around. Most of the mothers abandon their children. Some of them abandon them, leaving their husbands to take care of the children. Some of them, from their story, one of them we mentioned that someone said she caged their child. The child actually passed on. So just put yourself in the shoes of a mother. You've been in labor for 9 months, and unfortunately you had a child with special needs. I think in a way it's a blessing, because you are challenged to be able to understand them in a different dimension altogether, because such children need so much love, so much of your attention. I know some of them at a point in time they have their fits, some of them shout and all that, but it takes a very strong woman to be able to handle such children. I admire them a lot, and I believe that my institution also does, because the story was so touching. I came with a colleague on Sunday, and she was in tears because she was sitting and she was imagining herself in their shoes. So for Rapid Link Microfinance, we are really into empowering women. We don't limit ourselves to women who are just having children who are okay. We actually don't, should I say, we don't, let me use the word, discriminate. We don't discriminate, because some time back we even gave a man who was blind. We gave him an opportunity to be able to enter a business. So we gave him some money to be able to invest in his business, to cater for himself. Unfortunately, he's passed on. But in Rapid Link Microfinance, we believe in women empowerment a lot. So this story is something that has challenged us to be able to go further and then help women.
So the selection of those women, I want to have an understanding of the process, because to be able to fish out women with such compelling stories, I'm just beginning to wonder the kind of work it took.
So we advertised. I mean, it was on GA Today, and as well as on Morning Star, so that we are having this program, and we are calling for entries. So, I mean, plenty calls. My number, even after we had finalized the selection of the top 3, was on GA Today, and people were still calling. I realized that even the 3 we selected, we could have even done 20, 30, 40, but also depends on our sponsors. So maybe next year, if we'll be able to do this again, why not? Yeah. So we had to call for entries, and through calls that came through, the producer was able to reach out to them, listen to the stories, and chose the 3 compelling ones that
I don't want to be in the shoes of the producer. It's a very difficult job.
And I mean, even from the onset, when they started with the recording, blessing of all people was even crying. You know, I mean, it's very sad, because, like I've said, I mean, I have 3 children, and I've been fighting myself to put myself in that shoe. I mean, even one, sometimes they are very stubborn, you know, and someone. I mean, the most compelling one that I heard was the twins, and the woman was even asking. She was even asking God, why both of them? And the late husband was even asking, why not, or which of them? I mean, will she have wished was okay and the other wasn't okay? you know, it was a very heartbreaking story that we all watched on Sunday. Yeah.
Wow. This program wouldn't have been possible without our sponsors. I'll come to you for you to tell us more about your business and all of that. But it gives us the opportunity to as well express our thanks to all of them, not just the two of you here. So that when he's done with the list, they will come to you and then we open the floor for all the sales.
Sure. So on behalf of the management of VIB Network, we want to express our sincerest thanks to all of you for coming on board. We had Sankofa Natural Spices, we had OCM, Tea Lace. If you've not tried their tea before, please do. They have very wonderful teas. We have Flora. I don't know what to even say. I mean, at the business and deal that we had with them, they opted to go and pick them up from their houses as far as Tema, Pantine, and Hachu, to drive them all the way to their offices and even engage them as to how they can better their businesses. Yes. So I want to say a very sincere thanks to them. Then Agradaa also hosted the mothers, their children, as well as staff and management of EIB to a wonderful lunch the Sunday before the Mother's Day. So that was also captured in the documentary that we showed. Okadeko, I mean, at the last minute when we heard the story of the woman with the twins who says if you're able to get her some sponsorship, she will want to put some money into a shop because the shop was virtually empty, and also buy the twins mattress. That was like, wow, something that we take for granted. So Okadeko at the last minute donated some very durable mattresses to the two boys, and they are also very grateful. Rapid Link as well, we are also so grateful to you. Since you are here, I'll leave you to do your own shout-outs. Dampon Healthcare. Right after the business and date, they drove straight to the place. We thought they would just engage them and say, oh, we are giving you some check to come and do something. They gave the mothers a thorough medical check. Thorough medical check. And we are so grateful unto them. First Love Therapeutic Massage. Also, I think 2 days to have the Mother's Day, Friday or so, Thursday, I just contacted the young man and he said, why not? He wants to come on board. So he has given vouchers to all the free mothers at their own convenience. They should just go there. A full body massage he has opted to give to them. I'll go through some of the massages that he offers. He says he does the deep tissue massage. He does all the other massages that you are able to talk of. Then the same group of companies also at the last minute also opted to jump on board and also donate something towards this project. Dedel Spices, Tag Itela Medical Limited. Also on Friday, before we left the office on Friday, I remember one of our colleagues says, I know of a company who sells wheelchair. And from the stories, one of the mothers, the boy, if I'm not mistaken, should be a little over 20. They've been carrying the boy all their life. 20 years, you can imagine. So they came on board and they donated a very nice, brand new wheelchair to the guy, and we are so grateful unto them. Last but not least is Savannah Paints or Azar Paints. They are here, so I'll leave it to them. So we want to say thank you on behalf of management. We are so grateful, and we pray that this partnership that we've been able to enter into with you would be a very long-lasting one. God bless your businesses so that you will also be able to give to people of our mothers whenever we call on you. Thank you so much.
Thank you to all our sponsors. But as Cecil rightly said, we have Azar and Rapid Link here. My instinct is making me want to go with women. Here with the women first. So I'm all about women empowerment. So pardon me, let Mrs. Mary Ayenu start off with Rapid Link, what they are into, and all their products available, and how people can reach you, and all of that.
Okay. So Rapid Link Microfinance is a very vibrant microfinance with hungry young executives who intends to succeed. Rapid Link Microfinance has been in existence since 2013. That was when we got our license in October. But we became very active, like our name goes, rapid. In 2023, We are all out. We intend to become a bank soon. Rapid Link is here to stay. Rapid Link Microfinance is into giving out loans. Rapid Link Microfinance is giving out, helping people to invest. So if you come to Rapid, what you're going to get is your money is going to double for you. Imagine what you do with 50 cedis every month. Most of us use 50 cedis to more or less buy credit, and within a day it's done. But Rapidly Microfinance we have an investment package whereby you can save 50 cedis and above for 3 years. Within a year, you can withdraw about 25% of it. With our other investment package like fixed deposits, we give attractive rates up to 20%. And right now, if you even look at how our T-bill is falling, it's around 16.8 now. But Rapid is attractively giving you 20%. When you go to our banks, they will not give you that. So what I would encourage people to do is that you come save with us. We are located at Medina Taxi Rank. You can find us on Facebook. We are Rapidly Microfinance MFI. And then we are on Instagram, and we are also on LinkedIn. So you can contact us. We are also a phone call away.
Right. Mrs. Mary Ayenu, thank you. They are just a phone call away, located at Medina
Taxi Rank.
So you just go to Rapid Link Microfinance and you have all your investment finance needs, for loans, investment, savings.
Yes.
Attractive rates, 20%, that's quite good. So please check out Rapid Link Microfinance at the Medina Taxi Rank. Azar Paints, Ebenezer.
Yes. All right. So Azar Group is a company that specializes in production of paints, coatings, and also hardware. The company was established in 1921, so we've been in business for over 100 years now. Currently, the group we have Azar Chemical Industries, and then we have Cedi Paint Supply Limited. When it comes to Azar, we have various brands of paint, such as the Savannah paint, which you all know has a slogan of "We all go paint so." Mm-hmm. And then we have the Azartex, and then we have the Shield Premium Paint. So looking at the climate conditions here in Ghana, the paint has a formula that ensures that the coating is well protected, you don't have any fading, and then also it's budget friendly. So for Savannah paint, we have the Emotion, we have the Gloss, which is the oil paint. When you come to Azar, which is Azartex, we also have the Emotion, and then we also have the oil paint as well. And then we have our premium product, which is the Shield Premium product, the Shield paint. We also have the Shield Silicone paint, and then also we have the POP, which is Afri paint. So now, when it comes to POP, most of the people are going for the Afri paint, which is very durable. All our paints are durable. It stands the test of time, because looking at the conditions here in Ghana, we have more of the sunshine and then a bit of the raining between June, July, and August. So you always have to go for a product or a brand that stands the test of time. And that is where, as our chemical industries, we come in. When it comes to Cedi Paints, we are into the retail of all building materials. Anything you need concerning building materials, Cedi Paints is your one-stop shop. So anything you need concerning building materials, Cedi Paints. But one thing that sets Azar apart from any other company is that when you come to Azar, we don't only sell you premium paint, but we teach you how to select your colors so that your building will look beautiful for you. And then also we teach the painters, or we give the avenue to tell you or teach you how to apply the paints. So we don't only sell you paint, but then we give you the option to choose the various colors that you want, the various combinations that you want. And also we also teach you how to apply the paint to make sure it lasts long for you. So when it comes to Azar, it's all about the family. We make sure we give you the beautiful surroundings that you need.
Thank you, Ebenezer. Before we go, I want you to have the last word on all of this.
Okay, so like I've already said, we want to thank you so much, and we want to pray for your businesses to flourish, so that whenever we call on you, like Oliver Twist, you should ask for more. But to wrap it up, people have been asking what we have in store for the men. Father's Day is also coming up, and the narrative for men hasn't been a good one. So we want to encourage and change the narrative. So this year, EIB is changing the story a bit. We want to select some single fathers who also have children with special needs, single fathers. And the story could be that maybe because of the issue with the children with special needs, the wives left them, or unfortunately the wives have passed away. We want to select 3 of them, promote their business. So the catchphrase should also be that they are running their own small businesses, which we want to promote. They will give them some airtime as well, and we'll do that. There's also another thing we are planning for the fathers, where it will be a weekend getaway. That one, for those who have been celebrating their fathers all this while, just buy them a package, a weekend away. We'll share the details in the next few days so that we can all jump on board. So lastly, on behalf of EIB, for the last time, we are so grateful to all our sponsors: Sankofa Natural Spices, OCM, T-Lace, Flora, Accra City Hotel, Okadeco, Rapid Link Microfinance, Dampon Healthcare, First Love Therapeutic Massage, Sim Group of Companies, Dedel Spices, Tag Itela Medical Limited, and Azar Paints, Savannah Paints. God bless you and thank you.
God bless you. I mean, I believe that a good sales pitch is one that, for me, if I'm buying from you, one that represents my interests and cares about me, and you have just demonstrated that. So we want to thank you so much for your support throughout this entire period where we decided to celebrate our mothers as a network. Cecil Sovereign, a sales manager here at the EIB network, thank you for coming. Ebenezer Ankama, marketing department, Azar Paints, and then Mrs. Mary Ayenu, who is head of compliance and risk at Rapid Link Microfinance Limited. Thank you so much for coming here this morning. It's time for us to celebrate a few people who have had the privilege of a year added on to their ages today. So let's take it away. Happy birthday, my Empress, for making my world better to live. I and the children love you. From a very special one, it says happy birthday to you. belated happy birthday to my very own Frida Ban. You celebrated your birthday yesterday. Happy birthday to you as well. That's how we wrap up the show this morning on GHOne. My name is Emmanuel Jaben. Have a wonderful morning.